Yo, what is up, everybody? Back again. Y'all already know what
Nail,
it is.
play that shit.
Oh, yeah!
Oh, man, this man got the background.
You already know, man! Get that money, man. Get that money. Take to the house. Ain't no fucking shit. Easy money. Easy money. Well, it should be easy money, but like
Look,
I said...
knock on wood.
Look at the rookies drafted. We got Dean and we got Davis. Two from Florida. It doesn't get better than that shit.
Yeah, put that shit up.
As Ricky Bobby said, if you ain't first,
you're
last.
Exactly.
Second place is at 2.
Definitely gonna make up for it.
Trust me. I need a sports podcast, man. I need it. Now we're gonna kick it into episode 2.
Oh, I didn't know.
Let's talk NBA Finals. Dallas Mavericks, Boston Celtics. Boston Celtics, first seed in the East, 60-plus wins. Best team in the NBA all year. Whether you like it or not, I mean, I don't really like the fact people keep saying, like, oh, they had the easiest path ever to NBA Finals. Like, they can't control what happened to any other team, but they did play the regular season to get the first seed, so you mathematically already have the easiest path, and then the teams fell apart on their own en route to the finals for them, so I'm not going to fault them there. They blew everybody out. They lost 2 playoff games in total, so it's not like they didn't handle business. And you got the 5 seed Mavericks, underdogs in every series they've played, and have put belt to ass on every team they've played. Luke and Kyrie, like I said, coming into the playoffs, the hottest team probably, and then role players playing out of their minds. PJ, Lively, Jones, Gafford, all stepping up, making good plays. You even seen Hardy this last series, an adjustment by Kidd. So yeah, man, we got the super team Celtics versus the Luka and Kyrie led Mavs. I know it's gonna be. It's not really. I'll include JB, but it's not really him. It's really Jason Tatum. Who has more to lose in this series? Like if they lose the finals, the Celtics or the Mavericks? I'm talking from media perspective with everything that gets said about both of them. You know, we got the Celtics who've now made 6 conference finals in the last 8 years. Every other team to do that in NBA history at least has like 2 championships, whereas the Celtics have 0. You got Luka, where a lot of media believed, like Cam's kind of believe, you can't win with that play style. That's on the line for him. You got Kyrie. Can he ever be successful again after he left LeBron? Like, there's a whole lot of media narratives that get settled with the series. Who's the best young player? Like,
so
which side is it gonna hurt the most if they lose?
Who have more to lose in regard to the media?
It's definitely the Celtics. It's definitely without a doubt the Celtics. Not even close.
Yeah, unfortunately.
I'll say Celtics because ever since Tatum been in the league in 2017, they don't make the playoffs every year. They made the conference finals, I think, in 5 or 6 of the years, and they went to the finals in 2022. And now you have on paper, a super team starting lineup, which reminds me of the 2018 76ers when they had Butler and all them. It's the same thing all over again. Versus if you look at the Mavs roster, outside of Kyrie and Luka, it's a lot of role players. Like it's not like big name household names on that roster, but they all complement each other very well, like the 2011 run. So on paper, the Celtics are supposed to dog walk. That's what everybody basically saying. And if you look at their path to the finals, they only lost I think 1 game, and that's I think that was 2 games like that. They only lost 2 games, and with the Mavs, Mavs went 6 in every series except the Timberwolves series. So it's gonna be more pressure on the Celtics because you have a legitimate all-star roster. Obviously, like you got Brown, you got Tatum, Holiday, Horford, KP coming back. You have literally the roster. And they pretty much in the same boat as the Timberwolves. They trade away their draft picks and everything for Drew Holiday to win now. So if they don't win, it's gonna come back and bite them because you just gave Drew Holiday all this money, and he's older. He's in his 30s now. You gave Horford his money. KP gonna be under stuff. Then you still got to resign Derek White because you didn't want to extend him. So I think he's gonna be the Celtics with Luka. Luka is obviously he's only 25, but nobody predicted the Mavs to go this far, so it wouldn't really hurt them because like if they win, obviously like you know what I'm saying, it's great, but nobody predicted them to go this far. That's why the odds against them I think was like plus 1250 something like that. So them going this far, it shocked a lot of people because nobody thought that them and Kyrie were gonna work. They thought that okay, them trading for PJ Washington and Daniel Gafford was a D minus. Them trading for Kyrie was a C plus. Like a lot of people was downgrading the entire thing they're doing just for them to make it to the finals. Like a lot of people had Denver going back to the finals. And at one point, people said OKC, people said Minnesota, because they all three of them were top 3 teams in the West, but nobody thought the Mavs would go this far. They even had the Clippers beating the Mavs in the first round. They was underdogs in that one. Like they was talking about it's going to end.
Never been a favorite in any playoff series.
In no series, just like in 2022, he wasn't the favorite at all. And so,
no, I mean, like his whole career.
Yeah,
going back to the bubble, he's never been a favorite.
And so that's why I said it helps their case because like they're underdogs no matter what, so it's not going to hurt them. Versus the Celtics, they've been the favorites for years to come. Always been the favorites. It's either been them or Milwaukee or sometimes Miami, but really been them or Milwaukee. And so if they don't win it this year, they're gonna question. This is gonna be the question they're gonna ask. 1, was it a mistake giving Jaylen Brown all that money? 2, was it a mistake giving Drew Holiday all that money at his age? 3, what do you do next because they moved their draft picks for Drew Holiday, and they're gonna be in cap space hell because they don't sign them to the extensions. Now I think they're the highest paid trio in the league, and you still gotta give Derek White his money, and he can potentially leave when he's been their best defensive player.
That's fair.
Yeah. I'm actually interested as into what I want to know what your answer is, Bryce, when we done, because I just feel like this is such a obvious answer. Stop trying to bite. I just feel
I think it's obvious too. Yeah, Jason Tatum gets killed, but I think until this recent run, now everybody is like a fan of the Mavericks right now. Like, oh, Luka's the hot topic. But before this run, especially how last year ended, where they didn't make the playoffs and they I guess sold the end of the season to miss out on the playoffs and get whatever draft pick.
Mm-hmm.
I think it would be Luka because a lot of people believe like ever since Luka's came in, he now just got his 5th first team All NBA. Now I'm not saying we do on the podcast, but to the general NBA world, nobody really thinks Jason Tatum is a top 5 player in the league.
Yeah, absolutely not.
But everybody thinks Luka is top 5, arguably top 3. He's in the MVP combo every year. Jason Tatum's not really. He's in it, but he's never a finalist when it comes down to it at the end.
Stop.
And Luka's been putting up these numbers since he came to the league, but it hasn't translated to winning. So the narrative always around has been like, oh, this is another Harden. Even though that doesn't make sense because he gets better in the playoffs, which I never understood. But it's like, oh, he doesn't play well. He'll never be able to win like this. Then last year, they get Kyrie. They don't make the playoffs. It's like, I told you, Luka can't win, and you got a cancer in your locker room, Kyrie. Now it's like they done beat all of these teams to get here as a dark horse, and then they don't win the finals. And it's like Cam said, he won't give him his credit until he win the finals. It's like, oh yeah, he can't win if he don't win the finals. But we clearly see he's killing people. Like he leads the playoffs in every single stat category, which is crazy. Points, rebounds, assists, like steals, everything. He's dominating. And then if they lose the finals, it's gonna be like, well, as good as he is, I just don't think he can ever win. People will say that.
It won't be a lot of people. It won't be a lot.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a lot of people. It won't. No, I'm gonna tell you why. And this is why I disagree.
It would be that people said that until
not like Tatum
without taking out recency bias. People have said that. That's why I'm saying it's worse for him because, like I said, they don't think of Tatum as a top player. Luka is a top player.
So they gonna smoke Tatum.
Hold on. I'm saying top 5, like I said earlier.
Yeah, no, but even then,
no. There's a large base that says Tatum is top 5.
Right, and he has to be because not too long ago we was on the same podcast.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying we think that. I'm saying the general NBA world media, they wouldn't put Tatum in their top 5. I got him in my top 5.
Tatum was in an MVP voting.
But he hasn't finished top 4 at any point in the MVP voting. Luka's been there year after year. He's got 5 first team All NBAs. the quickest to do that in NBA history. But yet people have still said, despite all that success that Luka has had, people have still sat up there with a straight face and been like, yeah, he can't win the finals with that play style.
That's a small percentage that are saying that compared to like, bro. Okay, first of all, a lot of people hate the Celtics, so that's even like throwing more. That's even throwing more to the fire. A lot of people don't like Tatum. They don't like how he's getting this notion that he's top 5, because there still is a big population or like a base that's saying that he's top 5, but that's saying he's top 5, but there's also a big population base that's saying he's not top 5. I just think it's just way more.
It's gonna be way more
like worse. It's gonna be nasty.
It's gonna be nasty because I was listening to somebody, but it was Brian Scalabrine. You know, he Boston dude, right? All his stuff is Boston. And he was telling me, or not telling me, I was listening and they was talking about how somebody was like, are Celtics fans even going to be happy if they win? And Brian was kind of like, or it was either Brian or Frank Solo, but they were just kind of like, I feel like it was going to be, in layman's terms, they're basically saying like Celtics fans kind of be like, about time. Like, it ain't gonna be like of course they're gonna be happy, like, yeah, we finally won, but it's also gonna be like about fucking time. Like if the Celtics don't win, the whole not the whole Celtics
I know
they're
gonna tear Tatum up a new one. Like it's gonna if Tatum don't win MVP, they're gonna tear him up a new one.
And that's a lot of that's a different conversation. That's a different conversation because that's towards the end. But look, we already know there's a lot of Celtics fans in the world. So you throw that to the fire. You throw the people that don't like Tatum to the fire. You throw the people that's been fighting their whole life to say Tatum is a top 5 player into the fire. You throw the media into the fire. Like, this team has been so hyped up, and Tatum has been so much on the cusp for so long. Like, I know Doncic and him, like, of course they got different accolades, but I would say that the success in regard to talent, or like, I don't know what I want to word, but like they're not far apart from each other. Well, no, they're pretty fucking far. But in regard to their name, let's say that their name, they're not far from each other. That Tatum, bro, he's been on the cusp for so long. Like, it's not Doncic was there, but he ain't been in the talk as much as Tatum. I feel like we like to watch Doncic in the regular season. He puts up crazy numbers, but let's not forget that a lot of the times when we say that Doncic can't win, it's not mostly because his play style. Recently, or for the most part, it's been because his teams haven't been good or they haven't been fits. So Doncic has never really got blamed for real for losing, in my opinion, at least from what I feel like I've seen. Whereas with JT, bro,
he gets blamed for everything.
They blame him every single time.
Every single time.
And so at this point, Celtics fans are finna be pissed off if they don't win. The media that's supposed to be their golden boy. Thank God Anthony Edwards in the league, because they didn't know who they was going to make the face of the league now. Right? So I think, and with Luka, same thing, what I said earlier, or just not so long ago. Like, his teams haven't been all that good. They're an underdog. Like, he's playing tremendous. Chances are, if Tatum loses, he probably played like ass. Oh my God. If they, bro, the only way Tatum does not get a new one ripped into him if they lose is if he plays like Jesus. Otherwise, he's cooked. He's completely cooked. Let Tatum average like 20 points a game on like 30% shooting. Oh my God.
It's gonna be nasty.
Dude. But say he averaged like 30 on 48%. It's like, all right, Tatum did his job. That was just a really hot Mavs team. Luka continued to ball out. Kyrie balled out. You can't fault him for that. I think, respectfully, I know you say you don't like it because people brought up like how they got an easy path, but I think that's going to play a part. I think it's going to play a part. I think Dallas has played some really tough teams. I think they're probably better than any team that Boston played in the East playoffs.
Yeah, for sure.
So I think it's going to be a bit more of a challenge than we're expecting for the Celtics. So I wouldn't blame if Tatum plays well, then it is what it is. Dallas is a really good team. But
I just don't
he
like
plays
the
like
argument.
ass.
I just don't like that argument because they say that as if Boston struggled to get here. Like,
no, absolutely, yeah, no.
They did what they were supposed to do. I'm like, we can't talk about them for it.
Yeah, I'm not taking that away from them at all. I'm just saying that it's kind of like, I mean, these are all professional players. Can you fucking stop, bro? These are kind of like professional players. These are professional players in the day, but it's kind of like, you know, practicing against or playing. Say you're 13 years old and you playing 12U versus being 13 years old playing 14U. Like, I'm not calling them like they suck here because they 12U, but like it's just gonna be a different level of talent that they got to play against in the finals. And we've seen in the past that, you know, Tatum tends to struggle in the finals, so he really has his head on a chopping block here if he cannot perform with this super team that they say he has. Which I don't know if I really call it a super team. I think it's just a really put together, like really well put together team. Yeah.
Brad's team is a put together team.
Yeah.
I don't disagree with y'all. I personally just had to choose Luka to be devil's advocate because I knew y'all was going to all say.
See, that's why I was like, why did he ask this question? Because I know he's going to say that.
But also, I'm saying you do have to, like, for the same arguments you made, why it's Tatum, you got to look at the flip side for Doncic because it's like he came in the league. Like I said, he's got the All NBAs, but they were like, oh, he plays like Harden. He's too ball heliocentric. The ball's got to be in his hands. When they got Kyrie, like, oh, how are they going to play? Because the ball's got to be in Luka's hand for him to succeed. This year, he's always in the MVP combo, but this year, he literally led the league in scoring, won the scoring title, damn near average a triple-double. And it's like, yes, no one expects him to win, but part of the reason they never expect him to win because the whole argument has always been like, oh yeah, he can put up stats, but we know that doesn't win NBA titles because of what we've seen with Harden. So that's just from the jump. It hasn't been as hard on him because everybody just already believe, well, we seen this with Harden. We already know this is not going to work, so we're not going to pay him any mind. Then when he did make the run in 22, people bashed him, but it's like, dude, he ran into the Warriors and he's a 23-year-old kid. But it's like he got beat 4-1, like he got whooped. Didn't play good. And it's like, because then they're like, well, because his play style is not conducive to winning basketball. Then say you get Kyrie this year, or they get Kyrie last year, and they don't make the playoffs at all. Now it's like, well, dang, can we really say Luka is top dog if we always want to put him in MVP? But he didn't even make the playoffs when he got Kyrie. Then this year they weren't playing bad, but they were in the heat of the pack until they heated up after All-Star break. But then coming into the playoffs with Luka doing all of that, still no one believed Dallas was a serious contender. I'm not saying this is us, but nobody else believed because in the back of their mind, they're like, well, we know Luka can't win in the playoffs because that's just not how his play style works. And it's like, but that's what I'm saying. Though. He's done it this whole time, but those same people, even though I'm saying it's not a bigger percentage than Tatum's, but those same people will then feel vindicated because even though we've seen Luka be great throughout this playoffs, and he can still be great in the finals and lose to the Celtics team, they will feel vindicated and be like, oh, we told you he plays like Harden. He just won't ever win. And it's like, bruh, he's 25. He's still got plenty of time. Like, he can clearly win with the right pieces around him. He just might have ran into a better team. But there's people in the media that are going to be like, oh, yeah, he just never going to win it. Even though we see. We can see with our eyes how good he is.
There's definitely going to be people. I think it's unfortunate for JT because he's been good for so long that he's kept his face and eyes in the media with high expectations for so long. Whereas, like you just said with Luka, like he's had some falling off. People really didn't have expectations for him to win sometimes because of his play style. That plays a part in that who has the most to lose. And it ain't even JT's fault or Luka's. I mean, I'll just say JT's fault because Luka ain't really got no fault to it because he ain't finna get most to lose. But it ain't JT's fault that the Celtics have been successful and his career has been pretty much successful when it comes to making the playoffs and his accolades. Dude, can you stop, bro?
You must got something to say.
Bro, keep licking the wire. But with that being said, just because JT has had the high expectations for like maybe more pronounced, I wouldn't say way longer, but more pronounced than Luka, he's going to have the harder fall. They lifted him so high up. Luka has been lifted up, but it's also like, okay, he's really cool to watch, but we don't really care. We don't think he's going to win for real. Now, the hype he has now,
and he hasn't been on like really good teams like Tatum has.
Exact, that part too. It's kind of like with Tatum, like I said, he's on a chopping block. Like, he has to win, bro. Whereas Luka, like, he don't have to win. It would definitely help him a lot if he does. But if he loses, I don't think it's gonna hurt for people to be like, oh, nobody's gonna win with his play style. Like he doesn't believe that. There's probably more people than not that don't believe that. Like I don't think it really matters. No. And to our points in the group chat, I think at the end of the day, like he could use. Maybe it's just another team. Maybe it's some other pieces. I actually think this team is perfect for him. I really do like this team. It's really good for him.
You talking about Mavs and Luka?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, they got the pieces. Lively was the excellent pick.
Man,
they got up in the draft and stole him from your Thunder.
Yeah.
Gafford, even though half the plays he plays like he's slow, the other half he's great. PJ Washington was wasting away in Charlotte. He done turned it around. And like I said, I mean,
I'm scared for them Celtic boys. I'm not gonna lie, I'm scared for JT.
If Luka,
bro.
Depending on how Luka plays, and if the Mavericks end up winning this, I think he's gonna have an argument for the best playoff performer to start his career, where he's he's the true number one. Like when Magic came in the league, he won the titles, but he had Worthy and Kareem. So it wasn't like he was the best, even though we knew he was really good. Isaiah Thomas had the bad boy Pistons. Jordan obviously didn't start winning until later in his career. LeBron was clearly goated, but he couldn't win. Luka come in 25. Like we said, we don't see that. Kobe did it, but he had Shaq. Luka come in as the true number one and like win this after he's already leading the playoffs in every single stat. It's and
you said the best playoff performer
so far to start his career, young career.
Yeah, because he's pretty much a solo.
Like I said, he's been underdog every series, and he's got two Western
solo.
No, I mean not now, but like up until this like playoff series, he's been a solo, and he's been a solo playoff performer up until this series with Kyrie.
Yeah, I'm saying he's the number one. Like Kyrie, like it's solidified now that Kyrie's a great two. But we seen Kyrie have the option to be a one.
He's probably the best two ever.
Yeah, I'm not denying
the best
that.
Two ever?
Scoring wise,
behind Kobe.
Kobe
was a two to Shaq. Don't do that. Kobe was a two to Shaq.
No,
I think he's more efficient than Kobe was.
Yeah, there's a lot of fucking players more efficient than Kobe was.
I think that's what makes him a little bit more better than.
I'm talking to you, Tap.
That's tough though, because I mean, Kobe and Shaq did go almost 4 straight. I don't know if we could give him that over Kobe, because Kobe was the two. That's all.
Okay, well,
I don't disagree with it. I'm just saying it's an argument.
He could be second. I mean, that's still like like that's like we're not about to just overlook what Kyrie's doing. Also,
I'm not overlooking. What about Mike and Scottie? I'm just saying we know that is Luka's team.
No.
Yeah, it's Luka's team.
No,
that's what I'm saying. That was part of the conversation we were saying with Ant, where it's like, oh, he's 22.
Even though Kyrie only had that one ring, I'm still saying no, bro.
Not Mike and Scottie.
No, not putting Scottie over Kobe or no.
No, I'm not putting him over Kobe. I'm just saying we're talking about Kyrie being the two, the second best number two.
If we're going. I'm still gonna say Kyrie, especially if we're saying scoring. I'm saying Kyrie.
Kyrie's the only one.
I'm just saying the best number two, bro. I'm just saying the best.
You're not saying scoring.
Man, I've seen Kyrie.
I'm just saying the best number two.
I've seen Kyrie game 5, game 6.
I've seen him, bro. I've seen him. I've seen him. I'm just saying. Look, bro. I'm just saying
Kyrie,
best number two. I'm not talking about skill. I'm not talking about scoring. I'm just talking about the best.
I'll say it becomes a better argument if the Mavericks win this series and Kyrie hoops. If that doesn't happen, it becomes harder to
motherfucker, give me your fucking case.
Even though I'm not disagreeing. I'm just saying it's Luka's team. We never see a player this young win it all as the number one guy. And that's where we're like, it's usually around the 27 mark. He just turned 25. And he's been killing dudes since he stepped foot in the league. Now, obviously, he has Kyrie to go with him, so that helps a tremendous amount. But at the end of the day, it's not like Kyrie is carrying him. He's just aiding Luka and bolstering the Mavs to this run. Because Luka's, like I said, he's still doing it. Luka's averaging a dang triple-double, basically. His worst playoff series in his career came versus OKC, and his averages were 24, 10, and 8. That's the worst he's ever played in a playoff series.
You said to start off though, so that's
to start off. Yeah, I'm not saying in history to start off. Yeah, we've never seen someone have this amount of success so young as a number one guy. LeBron.
I mean, LeBron did take. He was 22.
He took his team to the NBA Finals. He did, but then he got swept. But that wasn't his fault. We know that. But if Luka can win, he will have that over him, and he's got more accolades over him as well. So that's
I ain't gonna lie. Luka, his career average starting the playoffs, like career wise, I think he's number one. Actually, I think scoring wise.
No, he's second behind Mike, but that's what I'm saying. Like he gets better in the playoffs, which is why I never understood the argument about his play style. Like it's not like he drops off. He gets that much better, which is crazy because teams are game planning for you though, and you're just still killing them regardless of what they send at you.
I don't think people like. I know for me, I'm not really talking about like him being like his efficient wise. Like I got eyes. Like I can see like he's still going off in the playoffs. I think it's more so as still like him being just so ball dominant and just him being like he has to have the ball, he has to run everything, and like everything gotta be perfect, whatever. We just never seen it. And I don't know. He could prove me wrong. Definitely prove me wrong.
But does LeBron not do that, bro?
No, it's not the same. Like LeBron is not. LeBron is getting before LeBron gets going. He gets other guys going first. Luka is not doing that.
Yeah, but I guess that's two sides to the same coin, then, huh?
But I think I agree with what you just said, Cam. But in the same breath, I would also argue that part of the reason that is, like, yes, that's Bron's play style, but Luka is also way more polished offensively than LeBron was at this age. So he can be more of a scoring influence rather than setting people up, so to speak.
And then he sets people up after.
Now, obviously, he's nowhere near the athleticism as Bron.
But even when LeBron was like finally got polished to his game, he still was like a and
you know what? I mean, he don't I'm not. He definitely won. But at the same time, there's a lot of moments where we judged him. There was moments they talked about it. Not they talked about it, but it was talked about when it was a exhibition game, I think, or something. I don't know if it was like the Olympics or something, or maybe it was even an All-Star game. I don't know. But Kobe was on the team, and it was somebody else. And I guess LeBron had like a wide open three or something, and he passed the ball off. And Kobe, whoever else, was like, shoot the fucking ball. Like, LeBron over the years has gotten judged a lot for his passive style. Like, he's gotten criticism for passing up on shots, being too unselfish with the ball. Now, you could say it's us out of the coin with Luka, where maybe he's too selfish with the ball. But I think, at least for this team, it helps. Like, he gets the team rolling. Like, if Luka's going, we're going to be good. Like, we're positive. We're good. If Luka's not going, now he got Kyrie, and that's a good help because he didn't have that before.
I'll say something I think you can agree with, Kim. Yeah, it's a little bit different in the way Luka scores a bit more. LeBron tries to set people up. But Luka, LeBron, and Jokic are like the only three players we've watched in our lifetimes where it's like, it feels like they can control the whole game from start to finish, and they never lose grip on it. Like, from the start of Game 5, Luka came out and went for 20 in the first quarter. It's like, okay, he's not letting them lose tonight no matter what happens. Whereas the same thing where, like, the legendary Game 6 in Boston, they said LeBron had a different look in his eye that night. And you could tell from the very jump, it's like, okay, LeBron's not about to let them lose tonight. Like, no matter what happens in this game, you never had a doubt in your mind that LeBron gonna have an answer. And that's the same thing it feels like with Luka. It's different answers, but at the end of the day, they got the answers to the test. It's like, it's nothing you can do about it. That's what it feels like watching him. It's just a different style or tweak to the style, but it's like he controls every facet of the game. Because honestly, besides Jokic and LeBron, who else do we know is literally comes in and dominates every single stat across the board and leads their team and leads the whole playoff? It's only, what was the stat you sent the other day where it's
I was
like
trying to say Victor Wembanyama.
Well, LeBron has done it like 6 times in the playoffs, and Luka just joined that
bro.
list for the first time.
6 times? Because the graphic was like, for everybody else had a year.
Yeah.
For LeBron, it had a span
6
of years.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's got that feeling to it. It's like, dang, like, he could just control the game. There's not much, he gonna play at his pace. You're not gonna stop him. You just gotta hope he has an off night.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Or he gets no help at all.
So,
which even then is gonna be close.
But on the flip side, another important piece of this matchup, and I don't unless I missed it, hasn't even came out that he's playing for sure. Kristaps Porzingis, obviously one of the big offseason moves the Celtics made this year, if not the biggest. If you want to argue Drew Holiday, be my guest, you can argue that. But they went out, got Kristaps Porzingis, gave up some of their key pieces from the past years, like Marcus Smart, Rob Williams, a big that can stretch the floor, help them to get first place in the NBA this year. Then he goes out early in the playoffs with the soleus strain, calf strain, whatever you want to call it. Never heard of it. Hasn't played playoff basketball. And I get, like, if it's healthy, obviously you want him out there because he changes the dynamic of the game. But there's also the fact, Kristaps has never played past the first round in the NBA playoffs in his NBA career, technically, because he got injured this run. And in any other playoff run, he's bowed out in the first round. So do you want to make the executive decision, if he's not 100% healthy, to stick him out there in the midst of the NBA Finals and have him out there potentially on an island with Luka? Because Luka's going to go at him. Kyrie's going to go at him. And maybe potentially mess up the flow that the Celtics have built to get to this point. Do you put him back in? Do you limit his minutes? Like, what do you do there?
I would ease him into it, like into the rotation, because like Horford been killing it, bro. Like since he's been started, he's been killing it. He's been knocking down threes, he's been blocking shots, rebounding. Horford looks like 2015 Atlanta Hawks Horford all over again. Like we ain't seen him move like this in years. So I would have him come off the bench, have him share minutes, maybe have him behind Peyton Pritchard on the rotation, just ease him right there, just ease him to it. I wouldn't start him though. I feel like starting him would mess up the entire flow, the entire rotation. It will also take away from what Horford been doing, because if you put him in, like let's say you start him and like you said, Luka and Kyrie gonna come at him, and then you got PJ open. Like say they all trying to like clock the paint up for Kyrie not going. He kick it out, PJ open the corner. Kick it out, Derrick Jones Jr. open the corner. Kick it out, you got Dante Exum open the corner. It's gonna mess up the flow of everything. So I would have him, maybe give him like a solid 20 to 22 minutes, something small like that. Don't have him starting though. Like still go with the flow with Horford, because that's gonna mess up the chemistry. Because he's like you said, he haven't played in a while.
Played in 2 months basically.
Yeah, and Horford been killing it, bro. He's been doing his thing, like protecting the rim and stuff. Even though Horford is an undersized center, he's still been doing his thing. So I would keep it going, but I mean, it's up to Joe Mazzulla.
What about you, kid? Because I know you've been that's one of your big factors. Porzingis being back changes the dynamic of the matchup. So how you think they should ease him in? Or because last I seen that he was still questionable. I don't know what that means. I still don't even know what his injury is, because I've never heard of it ever in any sport my whole life. A soleus strain. I didn't even know that was a muscle. So I don't know what it is, but they wanted to bring him back in the Indiana series. They swept him, so obviously it made it easier because they were winning to not bring him back. But I don't think he was ready to be back in that series either. So I don't know how much this extra week of rest really made a difference for the injury that he has, because it's a soft tissue that always takes time, and if you rush back, it can make it even worse. So how you feel, like, what's the move for KP? Because he is a big part of the team, obviously.
Yeah, definitely a big part. I don't know how they handle it. It's gonna be very interesting. I don't think you can just throw him out there and just hope for the best, because like Cam said, like, I mean, they've been playing really good basketball without him. So maybe I guess you can ease him in or whatever. Or maybe like if they get kind of desperate, maybe bring him back at some point or whatever. But Yeah, nah. So yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be very interesting to see what they do. I hope he plays because I definitely want to see that matchup with him and Luka, because I know Luka want to go at him because they're supposed to be like the next big Euro thing or whatever in the NBA.
Yeah.
And obviously didn't pan out, but I hope he plays. But,
that and Chris Shops basically went on record and said he essentially gave up on them in the playoffs that first round when they lost to the Clippers that year. He's like, yeah, I didn't like my role on the team, so I just didn't play as hard as I needed to. And so that's tough. So yeah, Luka definitely. I know he's chomping at the bit to go at him. I just really don't know. I honestly, unless the Celtics are just playing some kind of like PR game, like, oh, you don't know if we're bringing him back and he's healthy. I don't think he's healthy enough to play. I think that injury is something serious to the point where it's like, for his health, he doesn't need to be playing. Like, it's a injury where you might need a minor surgery or you need to be out months in order to really truly be 100%. But I feel like if they do go down, it's really going to depend on how these first two games play out. If he's not playing in them, if they go down, they're bringing him back because they're going to try to switch something up. If they go up, you might really say, okay, well, we're just going to keep what we got going because obviously it's a good thing. But that's definitely a tough decision. It's kind of like a catch-22. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. If they lose, they're gonna be like, well, why didn't you play Porzingis? And then if they play him and they lose, they're gonna be like, well, why did you play Porzingis? You messed up the rhythm. So, shoot, maybe it's Missoula who got the most to lose in this series.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying. That's why I say Missoula. Because like this, okay, and that's why I'm glad you brought that point up. This series is going to show you what Missoula can do as a coach. Because like nothing against him, no shade at no Celtics fans or whatever. But he ain't had to do much as far as adjustments coaching. He didn't have to. Like, I'm just being honest. Like, if we look at coaches in the league that has to make a ton of adjustments, that'll be like Eric Spoelstra. Sometimes you can say Jason Kidd, Greg Popovich, Tyronn Lue. Like, them are coaches that make adjustments. Them are great coaches. And I'm not saying he's not a great coach, but them are coaches who actually have to coach. They have to make adjustments. They don't have, the players that, the Celtics have to where they can just go do what y'all want to do. Like, they actually make adjustments. That's why they're always in the coach of the year. The Mark and OKC, like, them are coaches who can make certain adjustments. Even in Minnesota, like they make great adjustments with the roster they have. With Joe Mazzulla, he doesn't have to do that as much. Like, he can go let them just play whatever. He'll call timeout. He'll just say like some motivational stuff, and they'll go back out and hoop. But he don't have to actually like put down the board and actually drop a play. He don't actually have to. I haven't. Maybe I'm being biased, but I have not seen that one time he did it. And it's not taking away from him. I'm just saying, in general, this series, he's really gonna have to coach. Like, he's really gonna have to come up with a plan to stop Kyrie, stop Luka, and also make sure the role players are not, getting their shots off.
I don't think he's like a sideline coach. I think he does most of his coaching off the court.
Yeah,
he makes adjustments. Like, we watched them. They've made adjustments. They got Derek Wright running the whole offense. There'll be times where JB bring the ball up instead. Defensively, they've made adjustments. So he makes adjustments. They may not be as egregious as these other coaches who have to actually put, random pieces together to succeed. But I'm not going to take it away from him. I mean, just a couple of years ago, we were telling him he sucked as a head coach, and it was his first month in it after Ime had got fired. And then, I mean, they're back, so I'm not going to say because this is the same thing I did with Tyronn Lue when he was with LeBron. Like, it was like, he's not a good coach, because he has LeBron. But at the end of the day, you are the coach of the team. Like, you have word, you have say, and it may not be as visual. You may not see it on the camera on TV all the time, but I think a lot of these guys tend to maybe coach off camera, handle their business, the game plan before the game starts. Mazzulla's not much of a talker too. I don't know if y'all noticed, like, press conferences, he's not a talker.
And I was gonna say with that too, it's like, I think since he's not much of a talker, you know how Brad Stevens used to be the head coach for them, but now he's a GM. I feel like sometimes Brad Stevens can also be in his ear, but like, hey, you know.
Well, yeah, but that's every organization. Stop, bro.
Well, not every organization. Not every organization does.
Bro, that's literally every organization.
No, some don't have it. That's why they be failing a lot. Like some, they don't have like the hires to be in their ear, so they just let them roam around do whatever. You have some. Now I'm not getting wrong. You have some that be, you know, saying they be, you know, in your ear telling what to do. But then you also have some like, for example, let's say Detroit. Okay. The GM is never in the ear.
Yeah, okay. I won't say every organization, but most organizations, it's not just the coach making the decision.
That's why I said I would hope so, but we also seen franchises that have zero input on whatever's going on. That's why they always throwing the head coaches in the fire or being like the scapegoats every single time. Like we don't seen coaches get blamed for everything when sometimes it be the players or it be the hirers.
Well, yeah, because a coach isn't a job you can be good at. You got to be great at.
But like you said, it's always great to have, you know, management and stuff in your ear. But we don't seen some franchises that, shoot, I hate to say it.
Well, I didn't never say it was always.
No. I'm not saying you. I'm saying in general. But I hate to say it. But like prime example, even though he got fired, look what happened in Cleveland. Like I'm not saying Jay Bickerstaff is a bad coach. Yeah, like I'm not saying he's a bad coach, but look what happened. He had zero connection with, you know, the GMs and the connection up there, and he just got let go when half the time, half the roster was hurt, and it wasn't even his fault. He was doing what he could. So, like, that's a prime example. Like, the connections between, like, you know, the coach and GMs. That's why I said the Celtics, they have it good because Brad Stevens connects with everybody, and he used to be a head coach, so he know how it feels. Versus Cleveland, prime example, biggest stuff didn't have that. And I hate to say it, but it's also starting to happen in Sacramento, too. I don't know if y'all saw the Mike Brown situation. That where he just finally got his contract, but it was a disconnect on that a lot. They was hesitating on giving him an extension and stuff because they said that the playoff success has been horrible. Like they didn't just make playoffs in 20 years. Like it's be a lot of disconnect, man.
I think we gotta give him some credit. Like I get the obviously the Celtics have always had a good roster for basically the last decade. But like he did change up their style of play compared to how they play Ime. Because now you got dude like Horford averaging like 10 threes a game the way they play now. It's all spread out. It's all three ball. Like he's giving them that will, that freedom of will to like, hey, take your shots, play defense. Like that's the game we want to play. Basically 3-and-D. They live by the three, they die by the three, but they won 60 plus games. So they've done a lot of living and not a lot of dying this whole year. And they've had one of the largest point margins in NBA history, the way they've been blowing everybody out all year long. And that's a credit to his coaching. You can't just roll the ball out for 82 games and win 64 of them with no coaching. I'm not going to let anybody say that because that just doesn't make sense. But it will be interesting to see like if Dallas is able to steal a game one or steal game two and they go back to Dallas, what adjustments are you going to make? And like, how is that? Because we seen last year in the Eastern Conference Finals, even though he did get him to Game 7, Spoelstra outcoached him. But we know Spoelstra is one of the best, if not the best, coaches in the NBA. But I think Mazzulla really learned from that, and that's part of the success you see this season from Boston. He learned from some of those mistakes. So it'll be interesting to see now that he made it to step farther than he did last year in his first year. How can he try to capitalize now? But it will be interesting depending on how this series goes because he could potentially end up as a scapegoat, whether that's right or wrong. But it is like, dang, year 2, NBA Finals, year 1, Game 7, Conference Finals loss, potentially out of a job.
Like that's crazy. That's what I said, bro. It's not a job you can be good at. You got to be great at it.
That is
There's no room for error.
I guess on the flip side, because Jason Kidd, I think he's made a lot of great adjustments throughout these playoffs. How do y'all think he uses the role players to match up with JB and JT? Because obviously, last time we seen the Celtics in the finals, it was versus the Warriors. You had a Wiggins who was playing out of his mind. You had Draymond, a defensive enforcer that really made things rough as that series went on for JT and JB. How do you think Jason Kidd does with PJ, DJJ, Gafford? Like, what do you think the matchups are for the Celtics? Because they're gonna try to pause. They're gonna try to spread them out. They're gonna be 5 out. It's not like Horford is gonna
You
be in
didn't
the
have to
post.
pause that.
I just had to.
Because you paused it, I thought about it.
Oh, dead.
I think Kid probably gonna be more of a zone right there, just because like the high matchup and stuff too, and like sometimes just the matchup in general. I don't see it being like a man if it may say, because like the best wing defender the Mavs had in starting lineup is PJ, obviously. Like just trapped on all
Was that DJJ?
Yeah, both of them both of them equally are like the best wing defenders though. So like Luke and Kyrie, they're not bad defenders, but they're not great defenders. That makes sense. They're okay defenders. So I don't see them doing like a man-to-man. It's gonna be more of a zone, and it's gonna be more a zone in this series versus Timberwolves, because you have, obviously, we know JB can score, we know JT can score, but you also have Derek White can knock it down 3, Drew Holiday every now and then he can get hot from 3, and then Horford getting super hot from 3. So I feel like they're gonna play a lot of zone. But the only issue with that one is Gafford gonna have to get out that paint, because him and Lively having that 3-second violation is gonna kill them. They're gonna have to rotate out the paint sometimes, playing the zone. So I feel like in this one they're gonna play a lot of maybe 3-2, 2-3. Just depends on the matchup. But it's gonna be zone for sure. It's not gonna be man. I can tell you that right now.
You think they're gonna play zone all series?
Not all series, but to start off, they're gonna play zone. Like to start off, and then once they bring in like certain players, like say like once they bring out players like Pritchard and everybody, then they're gonna go back to man. But when they have like everybody else in, they're gonna have to play zone. Not the entire game, but it's going to be.
I think J Kidd might pull it out in Spurs, but against an NBA team, you can't play zone majority of the game.
No, it ain't gonna be
NBA team gonna figure it out, and they Celtics specifically, way you beat a zone is shoot. They can shoot the leather off the ball.
Yeah, but I'm saying that they're not gonna fully play man a lot though, but they're gonna probably like switch it out. The only time they really gonna play man is when they bring in like Jaden Hardy, if he's not in foul trouble, and then you bring in Josh Green and Dante Exum. That's their best defenders off the bench. That's when they could alternate it. I'm just concerned with them doing man to man, and then somebody's getting burnt off and stuff. That's why it all depends on Gafford, in my opinion, though. You already know he getting into foul trouble, stay in the paint too long. That's what it really depends on. Everybody else can do their part. I just need him to not make any bonehead plays.
I guess in JT situation though, is PJ on JT or is he on JB? And I know Jones Jr. got the other one, whoever he does.
Honestly, I would put Jones Jr. on JT because he's quicker, and I'll put PJ on JB. That's what I would do.
I agree.
Because Jones Jr. is quicker and he has a longer reach than PJ.
So then Luke is on what? Derek White?
Yeah. And then put Kyrie on actually, you can alternate that. You can sometimes you put Kyrie on Derek White, or you put him on Drew Holiday, or alternate.
I would say, well, in that case, because Drew Holiday kind of like to play bully ball, because he's kind of a bigger
Derek
guard.
White's probably going to guard Kyrie.
Well, no, I think Drew Holiday's taking. Oh, that's tough.
No,
I think Derek White gonna do it because he's younger.
Drew Holiday is literally Lou Dort, but probably a bit more reliable.
It's interesting matchups for sure. I'm sure it's going to change up, but I think if you put Kyrie on Drew Holiday, though, I think Drew Holiday takes him in the post. I don't know how successful that will be, but that's something Drew Holiday likes to do, is backing down smaller guards. But if you put Luke on him, he obviously can't really do that. But then now you got Derek White on Kyrie, and that's kind of a lot. So it's gonna be an interesting matchup for sure. I just was wondering like Jones Jr. on Tatum or JB.
Nah, Jones Jr. probably
been playing good defense. I'll give him that. I don't know if he can lock down Tatum.
He won't even have to lock down Tatum. He just had to play a good enough defense to alternate his shot. Like I don't expect none of them to be locked down. Like I'm gonna be honest with you. Like these are role players going against all-stars. So obviously I don't expect them to be like some just Tony Allen type defenders. But you can play enough defense to alternate the shots and make it hard for them to score. Like Jones Jr., he has a huge wingspan. I think his wingspan like 6'11", 7 feet. He can defend, and he's playing with like chip on his shoulder. And on top of that, like we seen last series, like him when at one point, sometimes he was on Edwards, he was alternating his shot a lot because he had like a long wingspan. So I don't expect him to lock down. Obviously, it's Jason Tatum we're talking about. Like that man, he can give you 25 a night. But if he can alternate his shot, he can hurt the efficiency. He'll still give you that 25, but he's gonna be shooting like not for 20, not for 24, not for 25. That's still good defense. He's making tough shots. That's all I need from them. I don't need to be locked in. I don't expect it to happen. But like you said, you can play your role to where you can alternate shots. They're gonna have to force a lot to like they're shot chucking basically.
Okay, so then on the flip side, how y'all think Boston shuts down Kyrie and Luka? Like what's
they're gonna play man. They're gonna trust that man. I feel like they're gonna put Drew on Luka, me personally, because like I said, bully ball, and Drew like play physical, and Kyrie's not more like a physical versus Luka. They're gonna put Derek White on Kyrie because Kyrie's quicker, and obviously he dribble better, and Derek White has quicker feet and quicker hands than Drew because he's younger. Everything else, like JT and them, they're just going. I don't know how they're gonna do theirs. I guess you put JT on PJ, and I guess you put JB on Derrick Jones. I don't know how they alternate that. But the first two, that's how I feel like that's how they're gonna do it. You're not gonna put your best player on the best player because they both gonna be worn out. So I don't see JT guarding Luka unless Mazzulla he has something that I don't know of. But I don't see JT just guarding Luka. You don't want to put your best player on the best player on another team and they're getting burnt out and they're gonna be shot checking.
That's fair. What about Cam? Do you think? I'm not saying they can shut them down. Do you think they can effectively slow down Luka and Kyrie with Drew Holiday and Derek White?
No, I'm not gonna slow them down. Only thing they're gonna have to just wish for is you can, like on offensive side, you just gonna have to just match them. Honestly, you have to match them. Your role players gonna have to step up and play. So if Kyrie and Luka combine for 60, Jason Tatum and Jay Brown have to combine for 60, and the role players gotta have to come in and step up. But you can't stop them. You can try to slow them down, but even that's hard to do. And then once come fourth quarter, you really can't have a close lead with them come fourth quarter, because if it's a close lead come fourth quarter, Luka gonna have like his X factor on and just hit every shot, bro. So I don't know. It's gonna be crazy.
That is something I worry about too after watching the Pacers series, because the Celtics kept having leads headed into the fourth, and then like that they dwindle, and they're playing not a knock on the pair, but they're playing the Pacers, who to end the series didn't even have Halliburton. It's like you cannot play with your food like that against Luke and Kyrie because they will kill you, and we've seen that all playoffs. And it's like I don't know, they maybe for whatever reason these teams didn't have their very best attention, but now they're in the finals. Maybe they don't play that like a days ago, but if they do that, it's going to be over real quick messing around with Dallas, because they've been the best closing team in the playoffs. I think they've won. I think versus Minnesota in Game 4 was like their first time losing a game when it was within 5 points with under like 5 minutes left. Every other game they've won, which is a crazy stat in itself. Where it's like, yeah, you would think it would regress to the mean where they lose some of these games, but they just close better than anybody. They're like you said, their X factor turns on. Kyrie might got the best fourth quarter X factor I've ever seen. It's like he could be playing completely terrible, and then the fourth quarter comes on, you would never be able to guess he had 2 points in the first half.
It's like JJ Redick touched up on this when he was like on I was listening to him on the radio or whatever. He came on the phone or whatever. With both of them, it's like Kyrie and Luka, they can be like 2 for 18 for first quarter to third quarter, but when that fourth quarter comes, it's like a whole different game to them. Like it's like every shot matters to them once like fourth quarter comes, and like you can tell even with Luka, bro, like every shot matters to him, and he's gonna like majority of the time he's gonna hit every shot in the fourth quarter. It's insane.
Once they see one go in, it's like, okay, bucket is open now. All these gonna go in, and they just let it rain. But I think he's about to say something, Chris.
What scares me about the Celtics? Well, it don't really scare me because I don't give a shit. But with the Pacers, the Celtics, they really struggle guarding the ISO, which is why they have to switch to a zone. That is the Pacers. You finna go against two of the best ISO ballers in the league. The zone is not going to matter, and it's not going to matter because my OKC Thunder tried it. And to me, this series is very similar to that OKC Thunder team. They just have a better Josh Giddey and Derek White. Everybody else is the same person. JT, JB, J-Dub, Shea. Like, it's the same person. You want to talk about KP or Al Horford coming off the bench? Jalen Williams, the light skin. We got our tall center, too. Like, we got our shooter off the bench. They got, what's that? I don't want to say what.
Hauser.
They got Hauser off the bench. We got Isaiah Joe off the bench. Like, it's the very same makeup. And I watched the Mavs dismantle this makeup. I don't think it's looking, and we're the better defensive team. I would say our team literally, OKC, their makeup was defense, believe it or not. We was a defensive team. I don't see Boston having an easier time with the Mavs than they did with the Pacers. They damn near lost the first game to the Pacers because they could not guard Pascal Siakam.
They damn near lost every game.
Like, dude, you cannot struggle, and that's kind of my point earlier. I know you didn't like the, everybody saying they took an easy path or whatever. But the point is that, like, bro, that should be y'all swept them. Good stuff. That really should have been the least of your worries for real. Like, you cannot struggle against a team like that when you finna go and play these Mavs. This is gonna be a whole different beast. And if the Mavs have the same game plan they had against my OKC Thunder, the Celtics are gonna lose.
Okay, so let's
unless like what I think Cam has said, if they keep up, like if Luka and Kyrie both have 30, JT and JB gotta both have 30. But that's if we've seen what JT and JB do in the playoffs, or at least JT in the finals.
Okay, well, game one they got Mavericks as plus 6.5 dogs. Who y'all taking game one? Keep in mind, Mavericks under Jason Kidd just got their first game one win last series versus Minnesota. Are y'all banking on them to steal game one again? Because I think it's there's a such thing as good rest, and I think there's a thing as too much rest. I think the Celtics, it's not their fault, but they did sweep. Mavericks failed to sweep, so they win an extra game. Celtics have been off for like 9 days, I think, headed into this one. They're probably going to come out a little rusty. It just is what it is. I think they might have had a bit too much rust, but like I said, Dallas traditionally isn't good in game ones under Jason Kidd. So they set the line at plus 6.5. Which way y'all leaning? Celtics, Mavericks, game one.
I'm gonna answer. I'll give it to the Celtics game one. I don't think it'll be a blowout at all. I think the Mavs will come out hot. I don't think they'll get like a tremendous lead, and they'll probably be up in the first quarter. The Celtics tied going into halftime. Maybe they up by a couple points. I think the Celtics kind of pull away in the third quarter and they win it. But I think, are you serious? I think that's the game though that lights up Luka for the show. In game two, just kind of assume where I'm going with that.
I'm gonna actually go with the Mavs on this one. It's not being biased. It's just look. Right. I'm gonna go with the Mavs with this one, only because like you said, the Mavs on the road are way better than they've been at home, and the Celtics are notoriously known for choking leads, and they can't have that. Like you said, they did that with Indiana. You can't do that against arguably two of the best fourth-quarter performers we don't see in NBA history. So that's going to play a factor. And I feel like in this game, it's going to be a lot of emotions running because, it's Kyrie versus his former team and, he coming to Boston. And like I said earlier, Luka don't play by Kyrie. And so, of course, the fans are going to try to heckle and Kyrie. I feel like in this one, Kyrie, he's not going to have a super efficient game because obviously they're going to have game plan, but I feel like Luka's going to take over in this one. So I feel like I got a match in this one, but it's going to be close. It's going to be maybe a 5-point game, real close.
Okay, Cam.
I think the Mavs can take game one. I think they come out and take game one. Come out strong, like Cam was saying. Luka, Kyrie, they're gonna be ready. I think it'll be close. If it's close, like I said, if it's close down the stretch, they're gonna take over and they're gonna win. So I can definitely see them win game one.
Okay, the ML they plus 205. So that all three of y'all pick Mavs.
No,
Chris got Celtics.
Oh, Celtics. So I think I'm gonna take. I think I'm gonna take the Mavs plus 6.5. But it do scare me because I think this game is either Mavs win or Celtics blowout. No in between. Like Mavs win a decent game, or the Celtics just come out hot game one home court, and you have Luka and Kyrie laughing on the bench while they're down 30, and it's like, oh, you already know what's coming game two. But my gut, I'm gonna go with Dallas. I think they can pull this one. They're gonna need to steal one of these games. I think they will steal one, whether it be one or two. I'm gonna say game one, but I don't know which one they'll steal, honestly. But Boston until the Pacers, but the Pacers should have won game one. Boston, for whatever reason, isn't a good home playoff team these last couple years. And the two games they dropped this year were both game two at home. So I definitely think Dallas steals one for sure. This one, I'm going to take them plus 6.5 as well. But with that being said, that's game one. What about the full series? Chris, Cam, go to y'all first, then I'll go. We're going to save Swan for last as the most unbiased person on here. And who do y'all got winning? How many games, and who takes home finals MVP?
You want me to go? I go.
It don't matter. Yeah.
Man, this is gonna be a very tough series. If it goes 7, Mavs win it. So I'm gonna say it goes 6. Now the thing is, the Celtics cannot let it be like a closeout game for the Mavericks. If it's a closeout game for the Mavericks and they're up like 3-2, Mavericks will win.
Yep.
They're winning it. So I think that they're not gonna let that happen. So I think they split game 1, game 2. I think Mavs come out game 3 and they win. They go up 2-1, and I think after that, the Celtics will win 3 straight. I got Celtics in 6. Jason Tatum get his Finals MVP. He finally cemented himself as a top 2, top 3 player in the league. No more discussion on if he's good or bad or not. All that's deaded. And yeah, that's what I got.
So Celtics is 6.
Celtics in 6, yeah.
All right, Celtics is 6 plus 420.
Oh
yeah. I'm just saying it for the podcast. I'll add it in the
okay.
tweet, but yeah, that's plus 420. So I'm not mad at that one. Okay, on to you, Chris. So I think you got the opposite.
I got the opposite. I literally have the opposite, but I think it's the only reason I got the opposite is because if it does go 7, I can't definitively say that Boston will win a game 7 at home, but I would say that, it's very likely, like maybe like 51-49, 55-45 type deal. But I think the Mavs I think they're gonna take game 2. It'd be cool if they took game 1 too. I really don't care. I'm not gonna say I'm rooting for it. I ain't trying to jinx nobody. But I think Mavs can at least take game 2. I think they win both games at home. I think Boston has a dying fight at home, game 5, and they win. Game 6, you're back at Dallas, closeout. Like, I just think that's the type of energy that Luka kind of lives for. I don't see him losing that game. And I think they close it out in 6 in Dallas.
That's fair. This is hard.
It's gonna be such a good series.
I wouldn't be mad because, like I said, I've been one of the biggest proponents of, hey, Tatum is good. He's gonna win it. he's one of the best young players in the league. So I wouldn't be mad if he finally gets that chip off his shoulder. But I did say on our playoff preview episode, said my Mavericks, they were the dark horse. My Mavericks, man. I was on their bandwagon when nobody else was. It was like they hot. You got Kyrie and Luka. It's not LeBron and Kyrie, but it's very reminiscent of it, where it's just like when them two are in the zone, it ain't much you can do but hope they miss. And next thing you know, they've combined for 80 points, and you can't beat it. You can't beat it. So I think they're gonna go in. Still game 1, game 2. Boston comes back, wins that one. I think Dallas wins game 2 or game 3. I mean, Boston wins game 4. Now it's a dead even series, best of 3. Luka goes into Boston and drops 50. Kills him.
Damn.
And then game 6, is the combo of them and Kyrie. But Kyrie is the one who puts the dagger in the fourth quarter. He has like 10 to 12 fourth quarter points, going crazy. Mavs in 6. I called it here, April 19th.
We called it.
I'm here to staple it in on June 3rd, 2024, before the finals kick off on Thursday. Mavs in 6, man.
What's the odds on that?
The odds on Mavs in 6 is plus 480.
Dang, that ain't high enough for me.
Now, Cam, Swan.
Sweep.
No, look, cause check it. Look, I gotta do it to you too, man. We all had our moments for the playoff preview where we were off. You the biggest Mavericks fan we know. But I gotta roll the clip.
Mavericks and Nuggets. As much as I'm a Mavs fan, I wouldn't say the Mavs. I have to be honest. I have the Nuggets probably win this one 7, given the fact that it's going to be a lot of firepower here as well. And
because you had them in this matchup, but you picked against your team that they were losing.
Yeah, I did pick that at one point. I did.
He picked the Celtics to beat his Mavericks in the NBA Finals.
Yeah, I did.
But I know that's not what he's about to say right here in the next 5 minutes.
That's not what he feels.
No, of course.
So why is your opinion?
He's trying to be humble because he's not biased. That's why.
I was being humble when I said that too. When I said Celtics.
So how's your opinion changed, and how did it get?
I wasn't even saying it changed. I was really being humble because the cockiness in me wanted to say the Mavs, but like, you know what? Let me be humble. You know what I'm saying? But it really nothing changed. Really, it's just like I said, like I've been saying this whole time. 2 of the best fourth quarter killers, but. The one thing I will say, though, that none of y'all said that, and the reason why I said Mavs, they haven't even shot the ball well yet. And so I feel like in this series, they be saving the best for last, which is the finals. They're going to shoot lights out. And when they shoot lights out, it's over. Like, in every series, they have not shot the ball well. They have probably had, like, some nights. This series, they're going to shoot the ball well. And, Luka love playing against top defense. And so in this one, I'm sticking to the same one, Mavs in 6. And in this one, I'm going to say, I'm going to agree with you. I'm going to say Kyrie's going to be the killer. He's going to get his revenge. He's going to put the nail in the coffin. But it's not going to be just him. Him and Luka are going to take turns. You get a shot. All right, your turn. You get a shot. They're going to go back and forth. And then once, I feel like the Celtics are going to go on a run, obviously come back in, get the ball to Kyrie. He gonna hit a game-winning floater. Mavs in 6. At the home court. Everybody storming the court, going crazy.
I like
Kyrie this, Kyrie that. They calling Kyrie. They apologize to him for all his remarks over the years.
I want Kyrie to win so bad.
They're gonna be putting the graphic of him and Bron from that game 5 when they both have 40 and whatever Luka and him do. They're gonna put that,
and then everybody. I promise y'all, everybody gonna be on Twitter becoming some apologetics, bro. Apologizing to Kyrie from everything over the years, and it's gonna be more crazy because you know how Boston is. They gonna go stupid being pissed.
Oh yeah, it might be some very civil disputes going on in Boston.
I've been saying Mavs in 6 every single series. So every single series I've been saying Mavs in 6. I'm not gonna switch up. Like literally every series I said Mavs in 6. So I'm gonna stick to that. So I'll take that plus 480.
Okay. I like it. I will say I went 6 because I was trying to be humble. But if Dallas messes around and gets up 3-1 with a game 5 in Boston, oh my God.
Yeah, Luka may just murder them.
Luka, when Luka blows them out by 30, they might legit riot.
All it takes is one fan.
All it takes is one. All it takes is one.
And they gonna say something.
Because
Brian Scalabrine literally was like, "Y'all, if y'all gonna talk to the players, talk to Kyrie. Please do not talk to Luka."
They might not even say nothing to Luka. Like I was saying earlier, they're gonna say something to Kyrie. And you already know how Luka is. He don't play by nobody on the team, especially Kyrie. He gonna take it real personal. He's like, "All right, you want to talk to Kyrie?" And you know, Kyrie not gonna say nothing back. Luka's like that badass little brother. Like, you know, the big brother be chill and stuff, but like the younger brother be like, "All right, my big brother ain't gonna say nothing, but I will." He's like, "All right, bet, noted." Take over, talking shit to everybody, calling everybody MLs and all.
That's fair. And I think Luka, because I forgot to say, I think Luka gets MVP. I think his stat line is gonna reach something like 31, 10, and 9. He's gonna be just shy of a triple double, but he's gonna have a triple double at least once in the series. And like I said, game 5 in Boston with the series tied 2-2. I think he goes for 50. So if they get the series to 2-2 game 5, I'll find however I can bet that prop. It's gonna be super plus money. Luka with a 50 ball. It's gonna be dangerous. He gonna really be talking this shit in Slovenian that night.
Dude.
Going crazy in Boston. But yeah, man, I'm excited. We're recording this Monday night, June 3rd, but Thursday night for game 1, we will be live. It's gonna be me, Chris, and Swan. Unfortunately, we won't have our guy Cam because it's dad's birthday. So shout out to Papa Sanders. Happy birthday to him. He will be missed.
Hop on the podcast.
But we're gonna be live, man. So y'all tune in. Last time we was live for game 1 of Dallas, Minnesota. We reached 300 plus. So fuck it. Let's go for 400 plus this time. I think we can get it. But man, it should be a good one. All in all, no matter what happens, I just want a good basketball series. And I think that's what we got. We got some of the most talented players in the world versus the best team in the NBA all season long. Who's going to be able to prove they can do what they do at the highest level? I'm excited, man. But like I said, one of these young guys is about to get crowned, and we've been championing that for the last 2 years. Last year, we were wrong. This year, we were finally right. Like, the torch has been passed. Let's see which one of these young guys comes to take the throne. I got Dallas. Chris got Dallas. Swan got Dallas. 2 months ago, he had Boston. and Cam got Boston. So we'll see who's right. Will we be coming on the pod to apologize, all 3 of us? Or will Cam be coming to finally give his apology?
Yeah, Cam. Yeah, Cam.
Hey, might worry about that. I want the bet and everything. I ain't worried about that.
It's so crazy how we didn't switched up, like not switched up, but like every series, like 2 of us had the same, or 1 of us have it, or
now it's 3v1. Yeah, now it's 3v1.
One man army.
How you think I felt at one point? I was one man army. Shoot.
What you talking about? I've been with you this whole time. I had Dallas winning it all for the job. I was pro Dallas.
Well, not against y'all, but other people I was one man army. I had 1 against 6, bro. Everybody
was mixing up his battles.
He feel like he against the world, man. On the pod,
bro. My phone was blown up by everybody talking noise.
On the pod, I posted. I told y'all. I put up my playoff bracket. Y'all was like, "Oh, what? You got Dallas?" Like, yeah, I got Dallas.
Back to back, bro. I had to go against Chris 2nd round, then I go against Cam 3rd round. First round I go against my homeboy Aaron because he wanted James Harden to get a ring.
Well, now you up against Tyler. So
yeah, he finna cuss me out in different languages, bro.
Yeah, man. We appreciate y'all listening. If y'all listen all the way through, lock in some of those bets. Let us know who you got winning the finals. But this will be out Thursday morning before that day of the game. Like I said, we'll be live. I Need a Sports Pod. NBA season wrapping up. And then it's time to kind of kick back into gear for NFL. And we got WNBA to talk about because there's a lot of hot topics that we will be touching on in the near future. Some of that stuff, we just going to be more uncensored and unfiltered because There's a lot of stuff that got to get said in that topic, but it's another conversation for another day. Your favorite kids from the neighborhood signing off. Peace.